Punk Revolution now. Today we are reviewing City of Caterpillar's sophomore album, Mystic Sisters. This is, what a plot twist here. City of Caterpillar, 20 years ago, back in 2002, released their one and only album, their self-titled City of Caterpillar. And that was like a legendary album within the genre of Screamo, because I think I've said this before, if you watch some of my other reviews, that Screamo, or post-hardcore, whatever you want to call the genre, combined with post-rock is like the best combination ever. Post-hardcore and Screamo are intensely emotional genres, and post-rock is an intensely beautiful genre. Post-rock is a very dynamic genre. Screamo obviously has very intense dynamics. You bring it together, you can create very powerful, angsty, beautiful, noisy music. City of Caterpillar's debut 20 years ago is a prime example of that. The fact that they're coming out with a follow-up album 20 years later is like, wow, it's really exciting because like they're an incredible band. You always get a little bit nervous, like, ooh, is it not gonna be good? Is it gonna ruin their legacy of this one mysterious, epic, beautiful album? I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. I say bring it on. I love this kind of genre of post-rock, post-hardcore. And if City of Caterpillar has more, I am happy. I'm excited about it. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the album cover. The first thing that comes to mind when I see this album cover is I see a face peeking out there, and it reminds me of their debut album also has a face kind of blended in with this sort of abstract, kind of gritty sort of look to it. It's kind of a similar kind of idea going on here. Very artsy, abstract. I think it fits pretty well. You're getting some of that really artsy, experimental post-rock with vibes from this cover, and then you're also getting that kind of creepy face that's kind of I don't know, looks like a freaking screwed up alien of some sort. It gets me in the zone of you're about to listen to City of Caterpillar, and I'm happy to report City of Caterpillar coming back with 20 years later. To me, it sounds like this album could have come out in 2004. If their debut album came out in 2002, this to me sounds like it really could be a fresh follow-up right after their debut. Doesn't seem like they really paused so much at all. They are sticking with their core influences of post-hardcore. They're sticking with their core influences of post-rock and Screamo. They sound just as talented instrumentally as before. Like it's actually really incredible. It's very thrilling, honestly, as a fan of their debut and as a fan of these genres. And frankly, there's not too many bands nowadays who are digging into this style of post-rock, post-hardcore. I mean, I can think of like Foxtails earlier this year did do like kind of a post-rock, post-hardcore release, which I really, really enjoyed. And here we have City of freaking Caterpillar. So, I guess the first thing first is just like a celebration that they're back and it's real. Like, just off the top of my head, some of the influences I hear coming throughout this album, I hear Fugazi, Envy, Unwound, Slint, Converge, La Dispute. Basically just a bunch of my favorite bands playing really awesome music coming together in a post-hardcore Screamo album. Immediately with the opening track, City of Caterpillar makes it clear, like, they are here to leave an impact. They're not here to leave you like a gentle little, oh, here's a little follow-up album for our fans, whatever. They're here to, like, say, you know what, we're gonna deliver something really freaking epic, because their opening track, Thought Drunk, I love that track. It opens with this, like, boom, 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 boom. You know, the drums just, like, kind of banging on the toms, or the guitars are, like, noisy and feedbacky, just kind of building up the crescendo. Kind of reminds me a bit of, like, Neurosis's Through Silver and Blood, that kind of, like, big, epic, post-rocky build-up with that, darkness and distortion, and then, has some kind of, like, darkness here, and then all of a sudden, you get that, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, they bring that snare drum in, and the vocalist is doing like a boom boom on that down it boom boom boom. Like, he sounds like an insane dude. Like, kind of has this like chant over it that really almost kind of feels like a groovy like rap almost, but it definitely has like kind of like a post-hardcore, deranged, angsty kind of edge to it, and that song just kind of builds and crescendos, and it's just like, oh, holy crap, this is so cool. Like, I love this genre. I love crescendos. I love epic experimental kind of, it does sound like this album is bringing in like a little bit more of kind of like a noise rocky tone to it, maybe like Unsane or something like that, a little bit more gritty to it. Some of these tracks do sound very much influenced by like early Fugazi with the vocals. That's one thing that definitely stands out to me a little bit more unique about about this album compared to their debut is that I feel like their debut was more focused on that classic screamo vocal delivery style. Here I'm feeling like they're trying a bunch of stuff out. Some harmonies that are a little bit more singy, talky kind of going on, kind of like classic Fugazi vocals, which I think is really great. And, you know, it's cool to hear that, like, yes, they are sticking with what made them fantastic in their debut. Just, it feels like talent-wise, it feels like they've been practicing their instruments nonstop since they last released an album, but they are kind of like, you know, just tweaking it a little bit here and there. The guitar tones are freaking fantastic. I think the drumming is just absolutely phenomenal throughout this album. The vocals are very interesting, like I said, like a little bit more talky, singy with this kind of very dark and kind of muddy mix. Sometimes the mix is like with the vocals are pretty, you know, let the guitars get louder than the vocals quite often, which sometimes I think is great. Sometimes I feel like I wish the vocals were a little bit louder, because I do feel like they're doing some pretty catchy stuff here and there. I do wish it was a little bit louder sometimes. But overall, I mean, just it sounds exactly like you're listening to a band from the late 90s who have been influenced by all these awesome bands and are just continuing to do it again. After Thought Drunk, which is like a really epic crescendo, you got Paranormalities, which I think is super Fugazi influenced. And then from there, you know, I feel like this album is really like a dynamic roller coaster, like up and down, up and down. Like sometimes you might just be like completely just, what's going on? It's just like almost just like emptiness with like a lot of like dissonance and feedback, and maybe like pianos like a lot quieter, and then gradually, you know, just kind of get the wheels turning again. We're getting the wheels turning again, and they just bring in these like kind of like kind of like dissonant chromatic riffs that build up, and I mean that's just like, it's so emotional, it's so beautiful, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like with screamo, a lot of people underestimate. They think screamo is just like rah, 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 I'm mad about the world, blah 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 blah. And yes, sometimes screamo is like that, but you know, this is like showing you that, like, it's, you know, there's this darkness and depression and angst, you know, those kind of emotions open up a whole door to a lot of very beautiful and artistic music. And bands like City of Caterpillar, they show you that you know, if you kind of just are patient with it, show the multi-dimensional aspect of these kind of emotions, you can make some amazing music. And I think a reason lots of bands don't do that is because it's actually really hard to make songs this epic, like 7-minute long, 8-minute long tracks that have these build-ups that, you know, that are able to keep the tension slowly building and keep you interested, and then have an epic climax. That's basically the album. Up, down, up, down. Really, really fantastic. I think the opening track is absolutely phenomenal. I think the closing track is phenomenal. I feel like, honestly, after listening to this album a lot for the sake of reviewing it, I'm kind of preferring it to their debut, which is incredible, something I didn't think I'd say. I don't know, I feel like maybe a few months from now I'll prefer the first one again, but like the point is like, it's good enough that in the right mindset, you might enjoy it more than their debut. That's like, and that is just like an astounding gift that I didn't see coming. It kind of reminds me of the Hum follow-up that came out. Was it like last year or 2 years ago? It's like, wait, what? Hum dropped an album and it's like really good, and you might even prefer it to their 90s stuff. I don't know what's going on. I feel like a lot of bands, I know Unwound is touring now again soon. Like, it seems like a lot of these bands are like, seems like in 2022 there's not enough really good post-hardcore bands. We're gonna come back from the dead and just drop some amazing, you know, gift the world of post-hardcore fans with amazing music. City of Caterpillar did that. I think my only complaint would be like kind of close-ish to the end, like the last, like the second to last and third to last track. I was kind of feeling like, you know, there's one song that's like less than 3 minutes long. You know, it is, like I said, it's like a dynamic roller coaster, and I think that's really fantastic. But I'll say some hills feel a little bit more exciting than others, and you have a 45-minute long album that's very dissonant and noisy. I do wish it was a little bit more concise, a little bit more consistent, but overall, I mean, very, very consistent. I can't believe, I'm in love with this album. I'm in love with this band. Wow. Never thought I'd be reviewing City of Caterpillar releasing a follow-up, and never would I think that I would suggest that it's pretty much on par with their debut. So with all that said, I'm giving this an 8.4 out of 10. I'm really, really happy with this. I love this album. Probably gonna end up going on my favorites of the year list, really. With all that said, if you're a post-hardcore fan, go check it out. Go enjoy. It's freaking City of Caterpillar. They're back. I'm gonna go listen to more Screamo, because Screamo is epic. And with all that said, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope I can catch City of Caterpillar live. I would enjoy that. So, with all that said, adieu. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Punk Revolution now.